happy Monday. Looks like we're live. Welcome to Soul Pet. Hang on a quick second because I once again have lost have lost your chat. Hang tight. This is, I tell you, technology. Low tech woman, high tech world. All right, I think we're good. Oh gosh, I have no idea now. Hang on, let's make this work. All right, well, while I'm figuring everything out, let's just say hello to everybody. Hello and welcome to Soul Pet. If you guys give me some little wave, send some hearts or do something to let me know that you can see and hear me okay, since I have messed something up here. You'd think after all this time, we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, um, and I don't see, okay, got some hearts. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys. All right, so this is Soul Pet. And we meet every Monday night. It's 7 o'clock Eastern time, no, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time in the US. And we are the channel that is dedicated to all of us who have experienced the loss of a beautiful soul pet, of our animal companion. For those of us with animal companions on the other side, you have found the community here that will support you without judgment. We meet every Monday. It's a live stream. There's a different topic every Monday. Sometimes we go down the rabbit hole a little bit. Tonight we're going to do that. Other times it's all about messages of hope and healing. And I like to share things that empower you. So it's not so much about me offering healing as it is about us as a group supporting each other and also empowering you to take those next steps so that you can put the pieces of your heart back together in a way that allow you to continue to live your life, your best life, because that's what our animal companions want for us. So we talk about things like connecting with our animals on the other side. Yes, we do. You'll see it in the comments already from Alana. We do talk about telepathic communication. We talk about our ability to stay connected and the way that our animals show us that we are connected. And we cover all kinds of topics like that. So thank you for joining us. This is a live stream. It's a conversation. I know I say this every week, so for all of my beautiful channel members, thank you for bearing with me. But for those who are watching this on a replay or years later from now, I just want you to know that it's a conversation. So if you would like to scroll forward a few minutes, it's usually a good 5 or 10 minutes as we get to say hello to each other. I can't wait to share that I was at an event on Saturday, and I got to meet Sharon in person. So I love that we have this beautiful community here. Okay, I don't see comments from Pat, so that always makes me nervous because every once in a while comments from Pat disappear. So if anybody has seen anything and they're just not showing up on my end, I've got live chat activated, zero moderation going on, but you know every once in a while something funky goes on, and it filters the comments, like aggressively filters comments for reasons that I don't understand, because this is probably one of the least controversial channels that's out there. Okay, so let's say hello. What is our topic tonight? I called it radical healing, and there's a reason that I called it that, and this results from a couple conversations I had on Saturday. I will explain at the psychic fair where I did readings. I did live in-person readings. It also comes from a couple of comments, like from Sharon last week, who mentioned that it felt like having Benny taken away, and there was and there was also a comment from Pat that really inspired what I want to talk about tonight, because radical healing is about what if the pain isn't all about the loss of our animal companion? What if it's not just about the loss itself, but it goes a little bit deeper, and it goes into the value that we place on ourselves and our worthiness and experiences that we may have had as a child or as a young adult. Even in, I'm going to say this is the rabbit hole part, even in a prior existence of our soul. If you're a person who believes in prior lives, which I believe some of us carry with us along with our animal companions who have been our partners lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So we're going to dive into that in just a minute. But first, I like to say hello to all my channel members because you guys rock. So hello to Alana. We're going to be answering your questions in just a moment. Also, Sharon, it was great to see you. Thank you guys so much for your support, and thank you for recommending to others. You'll find that this is a community that will give you a virtual hug, even if they've never met you before. And by meet, I mean it's all virtual. We don't see each other, except if you get to come to one of my events, which is awesome. But we support you, we wrap you in virtual hugs, and we will offer as much as we can. And I know that there are frequently no words. There are no words of comfort that we can offer that will ease the pain, but know that you have found people who understand. That is possibly one of the most important things. Until someone loses a true soul pet, I don't think they can ever fully understand. And no one can ever fully understand your relationship with your soul pet, with your animal companion. It is unique to you, but what we can do is let you know that we empathize and that all of us have experienced this loss in one way or another. Some of us very recently, others years ago, and we're here for you. So just know that you do not have to travel this path alone. We are on the journey with you. So hello to Alana, hello to Sharon, hello to Sherry. Oh yeah, so I don't know why, Sherry, you're the one who reminds me of my Zoom all the time. We have a Zoom coming up on Thursday for all channel members. I've already posted the link. I'm going to post it again. It's a live Zoom so that we can all talk to each other, see each other, communicate back and forth. It's also going to happen again on Saturday morning. So for those in a different time zone, it's going to be early in the morning here on Saturday morning. But that will allow people in the UK and Europe to be able to join at a reasonable hour that's not the middle of the night. So for channel members, it is free, included as part of your membership. If you're not a channel member yet, you could still sign up. Otherwise, it's going to be $35 per session. And that's not for, it's not for me to make income off of. It's in order to hold accountability, I guess, if you want to say that. Okay, so let's keep on going. Hello to Sharon. So Sherry, you reminded me to say something about my Zoom. And hello to Cheryl. Oh, you're not feeling so well. I'm sorry to hear that, Cheryl. I hope that you're feeling so much better. And Kali, great to see you as always. Who else have I got here? Dun, dun, dun. I know I saw their names. I know I saw Z. Good to see you. Hello, hello. And I could have sworn I saw Kathy's. I could have sworn I saw the Kathy's. And there's Christy. Hello, Christy. Good to see you also. For everybody else who's not a channel member yet, you're welcome here. This is not meant to be gatekeeping or like exclusivity. For some people, it's just not possible to join every channel that you want to join. So I give a shout out to all you guys too. So Lady Leoman, go back, Cassie, right? And did I see Nico here, who I believe is Charlie? I'm checking my little cheat sheet of names. And then, oh, Christy, you already changed your name, so that's cool. Jody, it is great to see you here. Our hearts are with you, Jody. Our hearts are with everybody who has recently experienced the transition of their beautiful animal companion. Cheryl. Cheryl with an S. So we have a lot of Cheryls, and Cheryls. So it's good to see you guys here. And let's see, who else did I not say hello to? I'm going down my little list of... that is indeed me. All right, good. Susan Lasecki, great to see you here. Yesterday would have been Sassy's 17th birthday. She crossed 6 months ago, still heartbroken. You know, it could be 6 minutes, 6 days, 6 months, 6 years. Little by little, the pieces of our heart do come back together. Maybe not in the way that they were before. And I've mentioned before that it feels like they've left a hole. But at the same, I think it works both ways. I think they've taken a piece of us with them, but they've also left a piece of themselves with us. So I pray that your heart continues to heal. Ray's Haven, good to see you also. Sarah, how are you? Saw you on Saturday also. And I thought that I might see Serena here, who I also saw on Saturday. I'll tell you a little bit about that in just a moment. But let's go back and look at we'll look at questions next. I do want to tell you about Saturday. Saturday, I had the opportunity to participate in what I would call a psychic fair, if you've ever heard of that. It was at a local crystal and metaphysical shop. There was a lot of vendors with lots of handmade crafts. If you see, I got my little henna tattoo, and I was doing readings. I was doing just like little mini readings for soul pets on the other side, so anybody who had a soul pet on the other side. And it was great that I got to meet Sharon in person for the very first time. And Sarah, I know, because we live in the same area. And then Serena, who I also haven't seen in a long, long time, was there. So if there is ever an opportunity where I am going to be someplace in person, I would love for you to be able to stop by. At some point, somehow, somewhere, I've put it out there. There will be an in-person event somehow where we can get as many people from this community together as possible. But in the meantime, if I ever get a chance to meet you in person, we take pictures. So Sharon, I will get you that picture. We took a picture of us together on Saturday where I got to do a little reading for her Benny. All right, let's take a look at some questions here. I think that covers most of the housekeeping stuff that I wanted to cover. Just gonna check off my Zoom. Okay. Alana, I need this so bad. I'm guessing that you're talking about radical healing. I have some ideas about healing that I call it radical because it's not what everybody says. I think that there are ways that we can, is the word instantly, that we can quickly, or that we can accelerate, that's the best word, that we can accelerate the process of putting the pieces of our heart back together again, and in the process open up that conduit, open up the door that allows us to connect with our soul pets on the other side. Are we ever going to replace them in the physical? We can talk about reincarnation. I've mentioned it the past few weeks, so maybe it's a topic that's going to come up again for our Monday night live stream. If there's an opportunity for your animal to a companion to come back into the physical, they have a choice about it, and together you have a choice about it. That's why maybe we should talk about this again in the future. They have a choice about it, but that's one way that you'll get to hold them again in the physical. In the meantime, they are trying to teach us something. They are, Sherry, I think you put it in the comments, that our animal companions are teaching us, we're changing the narrative about death. And letting go of the fear of loss, the fear of death, the fear of that there's nothing on the other side, shifting out of fear and into embracing love. And when I use the word love, you guys know this, it's with a capital L, and it's not romantic love, and it's not even the tender love that we feel for our beautiful animal companions. It is deep, deep fabric of the universe love that we talk about. So I have some ideas about healing that hopefully I'll be able to share with you, Alana. 6 months since Yoshi transitioned. So Alana, if you can be even on the live stream or the Zoom on, I can't remember where you are. I'm sorry, Alana. You'd have to remind me of where in the world you're located, and I can tell you which one would better serve you. And even though you talk, okay, so you do practice telepathic communication, which we all should. Forget about what everybody thinks. Nobody even needs to know. And the more we can stop worrying about what other people think about us, it's what prompted me. I'm going to share this in a little bit. For years, several years at least, I kept this in the closet. Like, I didn't tell a soul that I could connect with animals on the other side. I didn't tell, and I could connect with animals on the other side before I could connect with them in their physical bodies here. So I kept that in the closet, and what they taught me and how they taught me to release that. And now I realize, even though some members of my family I know think I've gone around the bend, it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. The only thing that matters is your animal companion and you and your ongoing connection. Okay, so I don't know how to heal my grief. All right, I'm gonna try and help you with that tonight, Alana. And it's not about me doing the work. It's about empowering you. And that I'm not just talking to you, Alana. I'm talking to anybody who may be watching this who has that feeling like I need to be able to heal. I need to be able to not move on. I need to be able to move forward. I need to be able to continue my life because here I am in this physical life without my animal companion. So my goal is to offer you tips, tools, techniques, messages, signs that empower you to go through the healing process. All right, so Sharon, yep, we all know, and we understand. We empathize with the pain that you feel. And there goes all those virtual hugs. Thank you, Sherry. Virtual hugs. And I think we're Cassie. Sometimes it's the first year that's the hardest. The first events are the hardest, right? The Christmas, the holidays, the birthdays, the anniversaries. All of that. My chair is squeaking like crazy. I hope you guys can't hear that. All right, so we hope that you feel better, Cheryl. And extra big hugs to Jody tonight, 100%. Thank you, Kali. We'll let Jody share when she's ready. For right now, all I would say is that if everybody would please just hold Jody in a virtual hug, hold her in your arms, and let her know that you're thinking of her. All right, so I'm going to keep on going. Sorry you missed last week's live stream. That's okay. I think we mentioned you. I tried to mention everybody who's a regular. Like, I don't see Kathy R. on here yet. But I try to mention everybody who's a regular, like Pat, who I don't see, so I'm just keeping fingers crossed that everything's okay, Pat. I try to give a shout out as much as I possibly can. Sharon says, can't wait for the Zoom. Yeah, so what are we doing on this Zoom this week? It is going to be me showing you ways to connect. So I'm going to be we're going to be talking about our animal companions. I'm going to be teaching is essentially the word. I'm going to be teaching you different techniques to help you with that communication and that connection across the veil. And we're going to be able to practice with each other, because sometimes it's hardest when it's our own animal companion, because we know so much about them, and then when we're trying to make the connection, the thought runs through our mind, but is that all in my head? Like, did I make that up? Is it just because I want that thought to be there? That is my animal companion really reaching out to me? So one of the things that we're going to practice is with each other. So if everybody brings, you just either bring a photo of your animal companion, or even, I don't have one handy. I have my dog collars. Oh, I have their little paw prints here. So you bring either a photo of your animal companion, as I make all the noise in front of the microphone, or bring like a little memorabilia is not the word that I'm looking for. A little memento, a little keepsake that you have of them, whether it's their collar, clipping of their fur, their paw print. Bring that, and we're going to practice receiving messages for each other. So it gives us the practice, and it also allows us to share messages of hope and healing with each other. So that's going to be the Zoom on Thursday and also on Saturday. So one of the questions that came up that prompted this tonight about radical healing came from Pat. And it's when Pat said, do the animals understand why I am communicating on your behalf? Which is really what a reading is. A reading is me receiving messages from your animal companion that I can share with you. You, however, are the person that they want to speak to. They speak to me because I'm open. I'm so wide open to it. I welcome them. I love them. I feel them. They fill my heart with so much love, and they share messages that for me to share with you. And that's kind of what a reading is when I say that I do readings. Messages from the Rainbow Bridge is what I call it. But do they understand what's going on? And the answer is they absolutely understand what's happening. They understand what's happening, and how then, why do they speak to me? So why did all of a sudden they start speaking to me instead of Anne? I didn't say hello to Anne. Good to see you. Your name just popped up in front of me. So why did they just start speaking to me instead of Anne? Like, why didn't they just pick Anne out of the clear blue to be the one to start speaking to? And I think it has to do with where I was at the time. And by I mean where I was, not physical location, but where I was in my mind and my heart and my soul and my spirit. It was 2012 when I first had what now I refer to as my awakening. There's nothing else to call it. You guys know I spent 35 years in corporate. I was a typical control freak, type A personality, had to be in charge of everything. I was the boss, and it was my way or the highway, and that included with my animal companions. And then 2012 happened, and I will never forget where I was when I realized that something had shifted. And I was on a walk with Jack and Lucy. There's a point to all this story. We were walking at their favorite dog park, which is here in Wisconsin. We were walking at their favorite dog park where they could be off leash and they could run through the woods. It was a great place for them to tear around. I just didn't want them to get too close to the creek, because you know how muddy dogs can be, especially creek water. And neither here nor there. I remember walking down that path, and I was looking at the trees, and the sun had been coming through the trees in a certain way, and I just realized that something had changed within me. Now, I didn't do animal communication yet. I did not do animal mediumship, but I felt that something had shifted in myself. And I also knew that I was being called to Colorado. That was before I moved out of Wisconsin to Colorado. And the John Denver song kept running through my mind, only I'd changed the words. I changed the words to, she was born in the summer of her 52nd year, going home to a place she'd never been before. Yeah, there's me. Sorry, off tune. You get my little singing voice there. But that's what I sang to myself when I realized that something in me had shifted dramatically, and I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it, or if I even was going to do anything with it. I just knew that I had to change. So for 8 years, it was 2012 to 2020, I put in a lot of work. And by work, I mean I studied with different people. I read book after book after book. I watched all these different, at the time there weren't as many podcasts, but I listened to Abraham Hicks. I listened to Wayne Dyer. I read all of his books. I tried to read the Abraham Hicks books and I couldn't quite get into them. I like to listen to her more than I did to, but neither here nor there. So I put in a lot of work. And I think that over that period of time, something started to shift for other people as well. And you guys can go ahead and put in the comment if you've ever felt this feeling like you just knew that something was going to be different about you. And you might not even know where to take that or what to do with that. But you just know it and you just allow yourself to sit in that feeling. But for me, it was over that 8-year period, and it was until 2020. And I think 2020, with all of the pandemic stuff that happened, that's when the switch flipped for a lot of people. But I had already been doing that kind of in advance. So I think it accelerated things. There's a reason that's the reason I want to get to this, is that the animals were teaching me so that I could be part of the acceleration. So now when I teach you something like radical healing, or when I mention any of the techniques or methods or meditations, even just the heart coherence piece, that you no longer need to go through 8 years of study in order to do it. Radical healing means healing right now. Right now. It's not going to be the same. Your heart's going to get put back together in a little bit different way, but not my hope, my understanding, my knowing is that your heart will come out different but supercharged. You're going to still feel the loss. You'll still experience the grief every once in a while, but that heart, I think I mentioned this last week, like the Grinch, your heart's going to grow 3 times too big. 3 times bigger than it ever was before, 10 times bigger than it ever was before. And that's what I hope to get with this. And for you, I'm hoping that it's only going to take 1 to 3 minutes a day, 1 to 3 minutes a day to start connecting with your animal companion, or just to start asking for the feeling of relief. We're going to talk more about this in just a minute, but you won't need to go through the years. It's like the animals guided me through that entire process until 2020, when Lucy crossed. That's when the magic door opened. That's when the veil was completely lifted. That is when oh my gosh, I'm getting all these little notices. Cassie, you're on fire. Collie, you're on fire tonight. So I can't quite read what one of those little messages says, but something about 24 months. Is it a celebration of your, plus I see 5 little gifts. You are going for it, girl. Thank you so much, Collie. Distracted by the squirrel. Okay, back on to the topic. So, 2020. 2020 is when the veil was lifted, when the spell was broken, and there's no more, once you see behind the curtain, if I've used enough cliches there, once you see behind the curtain, there's no turning back. And I believe that spiritual awakening of all of our psychic abilities, I'm using that term intentionally, I'm using that term, awakening all of the extra senses, the ability of us to use our full mind, body, and spirit to far exceed anything that we have been taught as human beings since we were children. And now we're taking that next step, and we are going to awaken in a way that allows us to stay connected, to let go of the fear of death, to be able to practice a life that can be fulfilling, and a life where we can, I'm trying to avoid certain words that are so overused, like manifest, co-create, but where we can literally transform our lives into the lives that we were always meant to live. And it's not meant to be a life of suffering. We can let go of the suffering. Suffering, I think that it has served its purpose for the longest time, and that God, Allah, Buddha, the universe, the divine, whatever that is for you, has finally caught up to us and gone, I see. I've heard you, I see you, I know you, and we will find ways to relieve the suffering. Yeah, I don't know where all the stuff about suffering just came from. Not part of my automatic writing today. So 1 to 3 minutes a day. Oh, here's the question. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? And I say that with tongue in cheek, but seriously, I do mean it. You have to be willing to do a little bit of the work. I can bring you messages. I can connect with your animal companion on the other side. They say beautiful things to me. Like everything is always a message of hope and healing. The optimism on the other side of the veil is off the hook. They see nothing but rose-colored glasses. They love to look at us and just pat us on the shoulder like, oh, there. Everything is going to be fine. I trust that you'll get here eventually. But you have to do a little bit of the work. And that may mean every single day doing one thing in the morning or one thing at night. It depends, or both. I'm going to share one thing in the morning and one thing at night that I think that you should do every single day. 1 to 3 minutes is all it's going to take for you to start getting the connection, not just the connection. So it's not just walking outside and seeing the rainbow. It's not seeing the feather float down through the air. It's not finding a coin or seeing the angel number 111 show up on the microwave. It's about getting a sign from your animal companion that changes something in you, that helps you, more than helps you, that transforms you, that changes you, shifts you in a way that lets you know that their passing was an illusion, that they really are literally right with you still. It's just we need to learn to see them in a different way. So that's what I'm going to suggest. Okay, so why did this come up? I want to talk about Saturday again. Pat had mentioned the question about why do animals speak to me. Sharon had said, it feels like Betty was taken from me. And then there was one person in particular whose name I will not use because I do not know him. And I don't even know that he would ever watch this channel. But you know the way the universe works. Things get lined up. And the next thing you know, this channel will pop up on his feed. But I'm calling it a crisis of grief. Because this gentleman, I'm going to try and think of, I loved his dog's name, but I'm going to try and think of a different name. So we're just going to go with... we'll go with Ellie. We'll use the name Ellie. And what he said was, I'm calling it a crisis of grief because I think that when our animal companions cross, especially animal companions where they were our soul love, where they were the love of our life, they were our true soulmate, our partner, and they transition, even though we know it, right? We know this. Every time we bring an animal, whether it's a cat, a dog, a horse, a bird, whatever, we know with our logical mind that we will outlive them. And yet we bring them into our homes anyway because it's true love. It's true love. And when they leave, if that was our only true love, it's like they were ripped from us, that they were torn from us. And I think there are so many people, I think there are more people than we know because they don't let on. It's silent grief because they think that people don't understand. I know from my experience as a human resources exec that corporations do not understand. Not only do they not understand, they don't care. But if this was your soul love, this crisis of grief, and all of the people who are experiencing this depth of grief for an animal companion feel misunderstood, they feel unlovable, they feel like love is fleeting, they may feel unworthy, that it's just one more thing that was taken from them, that they've never been worthy of love, that there's something about them that must be unlovable. And that crisis of grief is what I think needs to be shifted right now. We've talked about many different things and fear of death and the fear that there's nothing on the other side, the fear that they'll forget us, the fear that... This, I think, is almost more important than all of that. This crisis of grief that we are not worthy, that we're not lovable, and that it's just proved itself again. It's just one more piece of evidence that says we're not lovable, and I'm going to try to help shift that for you because I'm going to use the word again, empower. I want to empower you. I don't want to, I don't necessarily want to make you cry. I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need you to not wake up tomorrow and not be sad. I just need to give you some tools that will help you as you move forward. Move forward, right? That's the words I want. All right, I am going to check the comments real quick before I move on to my little things about grief. All right, let's. I only realized that after Kai passed, when we lost his brothers and sisters soon after our eldest cat, I thought she'd always be there until she wasn't. Okay. I figured this way would work. I'm hoping it's enough because of the exchange rate. Okay, I'm not sure what you guys are chatting about. I'm guessing it's these little messages that I can see across the top of my screen, which I'm not 100%. Oh, okay. Okay, so I've got gift memberships. All right, so, oh, wow. Cheryl, you gave some gift memberships. Fantastic. I love that. I love that. All right. Yes, you're both incredibly generous. And that's another way. YouTube picks and chooses who gets the membership. Okay, so it's random for that, but that's another way that we can help. The littlest things that we can do to support each other as we progress through this journey. Okay, so let's talk about love and grief. I saw this. I'm just going to read this. I saw this little comment that really stuck with me. We love something so completely that losing it will teach us what love really is. So that's kind of what grief is. Grief is loving something so completely that losing it will teach us what love really is. And that just struck me as very true, that because when they love us unconditionally and we love them unconditionally, when they are soul pets and it's our true love, there's nothing like that. And even, I mean, unless we're talking about Cinderella and Prince Charming, there is no love, I think, as truly deep as that of our animal companions, because they've seen us at our best, they've seen us at our worst, they've seen us when we've forgotten to do something, they have seen us when we snuggle them, they've seen us when we holler at them, when we scold them, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. They love us through it all, and we love them back. So that's kind of where the grief comes from, because all of a sudden we know, if we didn't know before, we know now what love really feels like. And then the other thing that I want to say is that being able to connect with them on the other side. So if you are new to the channel and you're not used to talking about telepathic communication and connecting with animals on the other side, it was so interesting for this gentleman that I met with on Saturday, who actually it never occurred to him that our animals have souls. And we talked about that for a long period of time, just about how the soul of his dog Ellie, I'm gonna have to remember not to say his real dog's name. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Sure. Okay, I will not read the comments for a little bit right now. So we talk about being able to connect with our animal companions on the other side. And this was something else that this gentleman who just happened to pop in, he was with his spouse at this little psychic fair, and he saw my little room where I was and said, okay, I'm game. I'm going to go for it. Bring me in and tell me what you got to tell me. And this connecting with animals on the other side, what I told him was that it just requires a willingness. It doesn't require that you believe, just a willingness to kind of sit with the unknown. So when we talk about how our animals get through to us from the other side, just sit with that for a little bit and consider the possibility and watch. It's like a crack opening in the door, and they'll stick their foot right in there and make sure that the door goes wide open. So connecting with animals on the other side does require a willingness just to sit with the unknown and consider the possibility that we can do it. And then when it happens, you can't turn back. Again, the spell is broken, the veil is lifted, all of the BS we've been fed since we were little just goes right out the window, and you then you're able to connect with your animal companion and more as you learn more and more. Okay, so this person said to me that the love of his life was his dog. And you know that I mentioned, and I think that anybody who has been through this may understand exactly what I'm saying. Even though he was there with his spouse, the love of his life was his dog. And I know that too. I mean, I know that that my husband, the love of his life, was a boy dog named Jack. And that's okay. And he knew exactly how much Winston and Lucy meant to me. We understood each other in that way. But I get it. And so then he said, so I just, that's when the word unlovable came up. Like, it's just one more proof, one more piece of evidence that I can't be loved. And it's happened to me since I was a child. Since I was a child, one person after another or one animal after another left. They left me. And so it's got to be me, right? That's the common denominator, me, that they leave. And then, of course, he said, I'll never get another dog. I'll never get enough because I'm not going to go through this again. And I hope by the end of our session, I'm pretty sure that he had shifted his perspective about it because of the messages that came through from Ellie. And also, excuse me, because he hadn't considered that Ellie had a soul. And I take that for granted. So I'm sorry I truly offer my apology to anybody for whom I just assume that's an understanding that you have. There are people who may be new to this channel who may think, well, it would be nice to consider that they have a soul, but do they really? And that's why I'm going to ask you to sit for 1 to 3 minutes a day and really think about your animal companion. Think about them, and if they have a soul, and all souls continue on the other side, then why wouldn't they be able to get through to us? Especially now that our humanity has shifted in such a way that we're not tolerating the old notions anymore. We're not tolerating what we were taught when we were younger. So I want to share with you that you are not unworthy of love, that everybody is love. We are so worthy of love. And for right at this moment, I'm going to tell you to take my word for it, but then when we do this, when I share the little exercise I want you to do, it's to help you understand that that love is not fleeting. Love does not get taken away. Love doesn't go away. It can't go anywhere. It's everything. Your animal companion is tethered to you from now till the end of time. And if you think that nobody has ever loved you so truly as them, that's probably true. That's probably right. That there's never been a truer love than theirs. But it doesn't mean that it's gone just because they're no longer in their physical body. So this person thought that he was unworthy of love, and it was one thing after another that gave him evidence that he was not worthy to be loved. And that's what he was going to carry with him. So I trust that his beautiful dog led him into my little room, because that's the way that they find a way to get through. And it made me think, I did not share this part with him. I thought it might have been too far down the rabbit hole. But we bring with us, for those of you who do believe in reincarnation, for those who have the feeling that you've been around this earth more than once, I know that I had that feeling. I'll give you an example of that if you want to think about this. There are some days where I am bone tired. And I don't mean I'm just like physically tired. I mean, my soul is tired. I am just almost saying like spiritually exhausted. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I'm not like so exhausted that I'm not ever going to do this again. But I just feel like I've been carrying with me something. And even these live streams, I suspect it is a way of my soul finding a cathartic way to release some of the things that I've been carrying over time. And that's why I feel this tiredness or this exhaustion sometimes, because I'm still carrying the weight of many lifetimes. And there is, I think it was Edgar Cayce was a a medium. I'm not sure what the word is for him, but a spiritual psychic back in, I don't know, 50s, 40s, 50s, something like that. Maybe a little bit later than that, because I think it was him who said people born between the age of 1945 and 1965 are all old souls, and that we came into this world in order to help all of the new souls evolve. But anywho, I feel like sometimes I'm carrying a lot of baggage. And I think that that may also be where that feeling of being unworthy of love comes from. I think experiences that we may have had in a past lifetime get brought with us into this lifetime, and it's part of the karma thing. Karma is a whole different topic. It's a different, from Buddhism, I want to say, is where karma comes from, but it's that carrying of burdens from one lifetime to another, and a little bit of it gets healed with each lifetime. A whole topic for another day, because I believe that there's ways that you can shift that once you get to the other side, but neither here nor there. We carry that. And I think that's where some of the feeling of unworthiness comes from, is that we're bringing that with us. So the exercise I want to do with you tonight is to release that, to let go of old baggage. And by old baggage, I mean really old baggage. And it may be from when you were 5 years old, like the gentleman who I met with who was 70, who was holding on to the loss of his dog from when he was 7. All of that, whether it's this lifetime or another lifetime, whether it was something that happened to you as a teenager, something that you think you might have done wrong towards an animal, whatever that is that you're carrying, that's what I want to try to heal tonight. I want to get to the root of it, not just the most recent experience of it, but the real root cause of it, to help you evolve through it. The other thing that I wanted to say was about clinging. When we feel that that it's the truest love, and it's a love that we'll never experience again, it makes us cling to that. We want to just hold on to it. We want to embrace it. We don't ever want it to go anywhere, because it's like the last validation we have that we can have love in our lives. And so we hold on so tightly that when our animal companion crosses, we are still clinging to that feeling, and it gives us the deepest feeling of grief. So it's the fear of losing that love that causes us to cling, and I think the clinging is part of the issue. Okay, so let me check comments again real quick. Sorry, Nunya, forgot your proper name. Nunya is Cheryl. And Z says, our souls were with our pets way before we were on Earth together. We will be together way past this lifetime. Time itself is an illusion. Z, you got right to the heart of it. And hello, Andrea. Yes, Edgar Casey, a health intuitive. I'm not quite sure what a health intuitive is, but I know what a medical intuitive is. But regardless, Edgar Casey did a lot of he did a lot of prophecy and that kind of thing. But he also had some thoughts about all different kinds of things. I'm not gonna continue on that, because we could talk about Edgar Casey and all the psychics of the past, because they all had something interesting to say, like Dolores Cannon. I was born in the 80s. I practically needed a bellhop to carry my baggage. I love it. Kali, right? We all need somebody to help us carry all this baggage that we brought into this world. And maybe that's why the people born between 45 and 65 came here, because we could help you carry that. We could help you carry that baggage. It helps to volunteer at an animal shelter. Oh yeah, Z. There's all kinds of ways. There are all kinds of ways for us to work through this. But I'm reading too many comments now, and I'm kind of getting off the topic. I want to go back to Z's comment. I truly and fully embrace this. There's no way for me to prove it to you. I have absolutely no proof other than the messages that I receive from your animal companions that offer validation. But I know it. I know that our soul pets, they're part of us. It's as if there were one master soul, and they are a piece of that, and they incarnate into a physical body to be partners with us, to help us walk through this journey together. Yes, they leave us sooner than we would ever have them leave us, but they've always been a part of us. They always will be a part of us. And sometimes when we talk about reincarnation, sometimes they're the person and you're the animal. Sometimes you're both animals. There's so much different than we've ever been taught about that. But okay, I digress. I'm just going to check comments one more time. I had dinner. Oh, Christy, I had dinner with a very religious friend recently who told me, no, animals don't have souls, only people. It's so, why do we think that we are the only species in the universe that has a soul? Yeah. Who says? I love it. Who says? Seems like some people think too highly of themselves. We're taught that. We really, really are taught that in religious circles. I mean, you guys know I was raised a very strict Catholic, and in Catholicism, animals don't have souls. It's just what we're taught. It only came as part of my spiritual awakening that I realized, wait just a minute, that beautiful bird sitting in that tree absolutely has a soul. You can't look into the eyes of a horse or the eyes of a cat or a dog and not see the depth of their soul. Yeah, we humans think that we're all that in a bag of chips, and it's not. That's the part that's not true. Um, I can't say what I would have said to this person because I'm in polite company. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to have those conversations, but little by little, more and more people are. They're kind of shifting. And I don't discredit anybody's religious beliefs because everybody's on their own journey, and this is a hard road to it's a hard road to walk. So if that's what it takes for your belief, it's totally fine. There's animals on the other side. They'll give him or her a big hug when they get to the other side, and have a good laugh over it. But okay. Um, I'm so glad I never paid attention in CCD. Oh my God, Sarah, CCD. If anybody knows, it just cracks me up. The lengths that we will go to hypnotize, to brainwash our children. If you missed, like if you went to in from Catholicism, just to explain real quick to everybody, if you didn't go to Catholic school to get it indoctrinated into you, then you had to go to this thing called CCD. So the publics, that's what we call them, the people who went to public school. The publics had to go every week to CCD so that they could be brainwashed into yeah. Recovering Catholic talking to you here. I'm a cataholic now. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay. Yeah, they absolutely have souls. All of us on this channel kind of know that. I think that we're all preaching to the choir, except that somebody somewhere is going to see this, and it's going to get through to them in one way or another. So what do we want to do tonight? I want to talk about healing a past experience. So whether it is a childhood experience, whether it is just a past experience. So I will share with you that I'm not going to go into detail. When I was a very young woman, fresh out of college, lonely, sad, I got a puppy. I had no business having a puppy. I was working full time, crazy, stupid hours. I lived in a small apartment. That puppy, that puppy, it was the wrong thing to do. I should not have done that, but I didn't know any better, and I was lonely and I was sad. And so when I think back on that now, that past experience, that's the example I want to give you of a past experience that I needed to heal. So during those 8 years before I began animal mediumship and animal communication, I went through a lot of what we call shadow work. So a lot of self-forgiveness, a lot of that's the only word for it, self-forgiveness. All the things that I was judging myself for, all the things that I held myself, told myself that I was a bad person about, all of that needed to be forgiven. And I think that's the big secret. It comes down to forgiveness, but we'll talk about it in just a minute. I got to keep track of time because okay. We're good. We're good for time. So the goal is that we are not trying to become worthy of love. We are worthy of love. Know that we are beyond worthy, that we are love, that it's all about love. And pick the worst thing that you've ever done in your life. We've all got skeletons in our closet. The worst thing that you've ever done in your life that you would never tell another soul, that remains a buried secret, it's the biggest skeleton you got, that's what needs to be pulled out of the closet. Just for yourself. You do not need to go to confession. You do not need to speak it to anybody else. You are the only one that's holding you in judgment. And your animal companion, let them be the one to help you offer that forgiveness. And before we do the exercise, there was one more thing I wanted to say. This is why your animal companion wants to help you. Do you remember all the times, if you've had a cat or a dog, and I think of it often in more frequently in terms of dogs, it also happens in horses, when we try to train them into a way that gets them to, I'm going to use this quote, obey our commands. So we take them to training because we want them to obey a command. We want them to be able to place or sit or stay or not take the treat off their nose until you say. We train them to obey us. There is no animal in all of the creation of animals who has ever obeyed a human being. What they will do is cooperate with us. We think that they are obeying what we ask of them. All they are doing is loving us. They love us so much. Everything they do for us is out of love. Everything. Everything. That includes their transition. Everything they do is done from an abundance of love. And that love is, when it comes to their transition, it's about getting us to shift our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions, to rise above. I rise, I shift. I shift, I rise. And that's what they're asking of us. I'm still reading all the comments. You guys are going on and on. Oh, hello. Hello, Nico. Nico, Charlie. It's good to see you. You guys are going on and on about the Christianity thing. Okay. As a kid, we would go to Catholic masses for pets once a year. Oh yeah, that's the blessing of the pets. There always was. Hello, Tina. It's good to see you here also. All right, I'm just catching up with all my channel members who I might have missed. Okay, so radical healing isn't about healing your heart after loss. It's about realizing that you haven't lost anything, that the love is there, and when we can learn how to let it back into our hearts, everything is going to change. So here's what I'd like to do tonight. If you're in a place where it's safe to do so. If you're not, it's all good. Towards the end, I love to do like this little meditation kind of thing. It's not really a meditation. It's not a visualization. It's just a guided something. I let the words just flow out of my mouth with the general idea in my mind of what we want to do. So if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, just join with me, and then I'm going to turn this into a 1 to 3 minute practice every day. Just join with me right now. And we always start by focusing on our breath and even just listening to my voice, because our goal is to create that coherence. So instead of our mind running a mile a minute, we are getting our heart and our mind and our core. We're getting everything to be calm and harmonized and balanced, if just for the next couple of minutes, so that we can make the kind of connection that we want to make. Now I want you to breathe with me. So breathe at your own pace, breathing in and breathing out. We all breathe differently. Just until you kind of feel that calm start to wash over you. Sometimes it helps to visualize a light just floating above your head, warming your body, allowing you to feel calm. But the easiest way to bring calm into your heart is to think of your animal companion. Just think of them, call them to mind, say their name in your mind or say it out loud. Think about a memory of them. Oh, it's one of the easiest ways to bring them into your mind and heart is to think of a memory. And when you think of that memory, they will enter your heart. They will help you reach that sense of peace and calm and ease. And when you're there, bring to mind that memory. So if it's a childhood loss, if it's something that you think you did wrong, that you've been holding yourself responsible for, maybe it's that one thing that you keep buried so deep you don't ever bring it to mind because it hurts too much. I'm asking you to bring it forward now. Just bring it forward, even if you just take a peek in the box. Even if you just lift the box and say, oh, yep, I remember it, and then tuck it away. And if you're not sure what it is, So if it's from a past experience here on Earth, a past time that you visited this planet, a past time that you might have been somewhere else within the universe, and you're not sure what it is, that's okay. Just set the intention that right now you're perfect. Everything is resolved. Your animal companion embraces you fully. Whoever you were, whoever you are, whatever you have done, your animal companion is there to erase it. Erase it from your heart, erase it from your memory, smooth it over. You may still recall it. You may know in your mind that it happened, but the association, the pain, the grief, the guilt, the self-flagellation, all of the things that you've held yourself responsible for, I want you to reach out to that version of yourself and hug him or her. Just give yourself the most enormous hug. You on one side, your animal companion on the other. You are virtually hugging yourself and letting yourself know that everything is okay. There isn't even anything left to forgive. You are whole, you are complete, you are loved, you are nothing but love. And every single person who is here this evening, every single person who is listening to my voice, whether it's now or 5 years in the future, know that we understand, we know, we feel you, and we also wrap you in that virtual hug. And know that you can let that go. Release it. Release it, and it is forever forgiven. And with that radical release and that radical forgiveness comes radical healing. Give your soul pet a big squeeze. Scratch their head. Let them kiss your face. You can come back here anytime. They're here for you always, 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 and forever. And gently bring yourself back to the present moment. You're going to roll your shoulders, stretch, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, open your eyes whenever you're ready. And you just come back. And then if you want to practice understanding how to get in touch with your animal companion, how to have them help you every single day. It takes a little bit of practice. It doesn't happen overnight, but it can. But it does not also need to take the 8 years, and that's probably just the 8 years that I'm aware of. It doesn't need to take all that. We can do this now. And 1 to 3 minutes every day is all I ask you to do. Sit with the unknown. Sit with them, consider the possibility that they can mend the pieces of your heart. And not just that, they can put it back together in such a way that you're not even going to recognize it anymore. And you're going to be able to speak to them, not just telepathically, but with your heart. And you're going to know that they're there. And I know that my words I don't have all the words to explain this to you. But your animal companion does, and it's going to be explained through feeling. So 1 to 3 minutes every day. Close your eyes. As soon as you wake up in the morning, don't get out of bed first. Just lay in bed for 1 to 3 minutes and think about your animal companion. And say to them, just for today we're going to be a little bit better. Show me what I can do today to be a little bit more complete and to know and trust that you're with me in my heart. And they're going to do it for you. Even if it's just feeling that little brief moment of relief in your own heart. And before you fall asleep, do the same thing. As you're drifting off to sleep, the best possible time to make a connection with your animal companion, when your conscious mind is turning off and your subconscious mind is taking over, and you're right in that sweet spot, that magic spot before you drift off to sleep, you call on your animal companion to be with you. And you drift into that beautiful subconscious sleep, And then your conscious mind can't talk you out of it. And your animal companion is there to hold you all night long. All night long. Every day, 1 to 3 minutes, morning and night, everything's going to shift. Radical healing. And there used to, when I was in corporate, we used to say we had the 21 days. 21 days to change a habit. So if you wanted to be on time at work, you had to do it for 21 days. You can do it in 21 minutes. You can do it in 7 days, 3 minutes a day. That right? If I do my math, that's 21 minutes. You can do this. Easy, easy, easy as pie. And in the meantime, if you need some reinforcement, come back here every Monday night. Come back here every Monday and we will hang out together. And we've been doing this now for almost 3 years. And only with the occasional illness or travel snafu, we're here for each other. And we will hold you and we will help you work through all of this. Okay. I'm going to read some comments. Live in a black mold house the last 7 years. And that got you cancer, baby. Oh, Alana, isn't that interesting? I was just reading something. I know that cancer is a tough one. It's a tough lesson that I believe our animals are teaching us. But anyway, that's a whole different topic about the things that our animals are teaching us in the way that they're crossing. But that's awesome, Alana. It was something about copper and a way to put copper in your house that puts up a protection against any kind of mold in your home. I don't know enough about it to speak intelligently about it. I just found it interesting that came up. I worry that the reason that Kai hasn't appeared to me apart from that one dream is because I'm a cynical person. Oh, okay. So perhaps it is a little bit of cynicism, but that's okay. I can get sarcastic. I know that's not the same as cynical, but just ask that. So when you go to sleep every night, just say, Kai, I would just like to not be quite as cynical. I want to start to let that go. And then in the morning, do the same thing. Like I would say, what is the one thing I can do today? Maybe if I can just be one little less bit cynical. I personally have stopped watching the news only because I would talk back, not just only because, but one of the things I would do is talk back to it. And commercials and anywho, one thing every day, ask for help to release that cynicism and let it and turn it around and become a complete cockeyed optimist who believes only in the best of people. And life becomes so much happier that way. Life becomes happier when I believe that everybody, the person who cuts me off in traffic, oh my gosh, it's because his wife is on the way to the hospital to have the baby. Or that person who just has to get in front of me in the grocery store. It's okay. I know that your doggy at home really needs that food. So you go ahead and you get right in front of me. Whatever. I love to believe in the best of people. And I would much rather have that than believing in the worst. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying. I have a plush keychain I have made of Kai's face and his brothers and sisters who are with him. I sleep with them next to my pillow every night just to see them. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful habit. I mean, I've got this is Winston and Lucy here this evening. I swap them out every once in a while because I love being surrounded by them. I was wearing Winston on I don't have him on tonight, but I have their paw prints with me. I have everything with me because I love the idea of being surrounded by them. And then I just know that they're with me. And I know that all of your guys are all of your animals are with me also. Okay, so Z is saying copper is microbial and prevents mold. Right. Something else, there was something about colloidal silver in there too. But okay, I gotta go, guys. It's after 8 o'clock. I thank you guys so much for joining me, especially when we go off on all these tangents because it's fun. We have a good time talking about all this and supporting each other. Cassie, I'm following the 2000 Beagles and I tried to do Reiki healing, but my sadness is in the way. Oh, Sherry, let's talk about that on Thursday. Because I think I mentioned last week that is happening not far from my home. I might have mentioned that in a different group. That beagle thing is about an hour from where I live. And it's beagles who are being raised solely for research. And I will let you guys do I will not bring up all the negativity around that. I only focus on the best. And that is even if we save one. If there's nothing that you can do to help those beagles, do something else. When we can help one animal, we help them all. And I don't mean that as a metaphor. When we help one animal, we help them all. So if you were to, at Z's suggestion, go volunteer at an animal shelter, that positive energy that you are sharing out with the universe shifts things in the whole universe. I just know that research being conducted on animals is going to end. I'm fully confident in it because of the work that's being done. And it's not just the work of the actual activists. It is because I consider myself an activist, even though sometimes the activation I do is with my heart and with my prayer and with my soul. Thanks for bringing up the beagles and getting me going. Okay, I gotta run, guys. Have a great night. I love you guys so much. I will post the link for channel members. If you're not a channel member and you want to be a channel member, click the little tab that says join. If you don't want to do that, and you just want to, or you know somebody who just wants to come to the Zoom and be able to connect with their animal companion, I will post a public link that's $35, or you can, as for channel members, it's part of your membership. And it's going to happen on Thursday night and Saturday morning. I love you guys so much. Have a great week. I will see you soon. Take care, everybody. If I can make this end. Because I moved everything around. There we go. End stream. Bye, guys.